answers.
Sounds good.
This is going to really help you understand exactly what those interviewers are looking for
Yeah.
and how to stand out as a top candidate.
You know what's really interesting is that this guide emphasizes
Okay.
how important it is to show that you can really own a brand,
Right.
not just, understand those basic marketing principles.
Yeah.
You got to showcase that strategic thinking, that creativity, and that leadership.
It's like you're not just managing a brand, you're becoming the brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You become the brand.
Yeah.
Now, this guide breaks down the different types of interview questions you can expect.
Well, okay.
And understanding these categories is absolutely crucial for your prep.
It's like having a cheat sheet, right?
Yeah,
Knowing what's coming can help you really focus your preparation.
absolutely. Like you said, it's a cheat sheet. The guide mentions 5 main types of questions.
Okay.
We've got behavioral brand knowledge and strategy,
Uh-huh.
creative and innovation,
Yep.
case study and scenario-based, and finally, leadership and team management.
So they're really looking for a well-rounded candidate who can handle all aspects of the job.
Precisely. They want to paint a complete picture
Right.
of you as a potential brand manager, how you think, how you act under pressure,
Yeah.
how you lead a team.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So once you know what types of questions to expect,
Yeah.
how do you actually prepare for them?
Okay.
I mean, this guide gives some really excellent tips, but I kind of want to unpack those and make them really actionable for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's the first thing?
Well, first up, research.
Yeah.
But don't just, read the company's website and call it a day.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go deeper.
Okay.
Look at industry reports.
Yeah.
Check out their social media presence.
Right.
Even go as far as to read employee reviews on Glassdoor.
So become a brand detective.
Yes.
You're building a case file on this company.
That's a great way to put it.
I like that.
That level of research
Yeah.
is really going to help you answer those tough questions like,
Okay.
why do you want to work for us?
Yeah.
And you can do it genuinely with real insights
Right.
because it shows you've put in the effort.
And I bet it also helps you ask them some better questions,
Right.
which we'll get to a little bit later.
For sure.
Okay, so what else does this guide recommend for interview prep?
Understanding the target audience.
Mm-hmm.
This is where your inner psychologist comes in.
Uh-huh.
What makes these people tick? What are their needs, their desires?
Right.
What problems does this brand solve for them?
This is where all that deep research really pays off.
Yes.
You can start to see how the brand's message connects or maybe doesn't connect with the people that they're trying to reach.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And speaking of the brand's message, don't forget to analyze their past and current marketing campaigns.
Okay.
What worked, what didn't. This shows you're not just passively observing.
Yeah.
You're actively learning from their successes and their failures.
So you're thinking critically,
Yes,
not just taking everything at face value.
absolutely.
I like it.
Now, if you have a portfolio of your relevant work,
Right.
make sure it's ready to go to showcase all of your experience.
Definitely. And then I think the next step is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Practicing those behavioral and scenario-based questions,
Yeah.
these can be really tough.
Right.
Because they're all about how you handled specific situations in the past.
Absolutely. And the key here is to really connect your experiences to the skills that they're looking for.
Okay.
Think back to your past roles.
Yeah.
What challenges did you face? How did you overcome them?
Right.
Did you use leadership, problem-solving, strategic thinking to make a real impact?
So it's about telling your story in a way that highlights those transferable skills.
Yes.
You're showing them you can walk the walk,
Hmm.
not just talk the talk.
Huh.
And before we forget, don't forget to brush up on current industry trends.
Absolutely.
Show them you're not just living in the past,
Yeah.
that you're on top of what's happening now.
Yes.
So read industry publications, listen to podcasts, attend webinars.
Yes. Stay ahead of the curve.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've laid a solid foundation here.
Okay.
Are you ready to dive into some example questions and answers?
Let's get into it.
All right, hit us with the first one.
All right.
What kind of challenge might they throw our way?
This one is all about strategy.
Okay.
How do you evaluate and improve brand positioning in a competitive market?
Ooh, that's getting right to the heart of the job.
Yeah.
You have to know how to position a brand effectively, especially when there's so much competition.
Right.
So how would you approach this question?
Well, the example answer in the guide is pretty solid.
Okay.
It emphasizes the importance of market research, competitor analysis, customer insights.
Mm-hmm.
But to really stand out, I think you need to show you have a systematic way
Mm.
of using this data to make strategic decisions.
So it's not just about gathering information. It's
Yeah.
about knowing how to analyze it
Yes.
and turn it into action.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah, please.
Imagine a candidate saying this.
Okay.
In my previous role, I noticed our brand was losing ground to a competitor.
Okay.
I started with a SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
And remember, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats,
Oh, yeah, of course.
which revealed that our messaging wasn't resonating with our target audience.
Okay.
So I led a rebranding initiative focusing on our product's unique selling proposition.
Uh-huh.
And we saw a 25% increase in brand recognition within 6 months.
That's a great example.
Right.
It shows they took initiative, used data to inform their decisions,
Yeah.
and achieved measurable results.
Exactly. It's concise and impactful.
I like it. Now let's look at another question
Okay.
that tests your ability to execute a successful brand campaign.
All right. This one asks, can you describe a successful brand campaign you managed?
Okay.
It's a classic way to see how you apply your skills in a real-world situation.
It's like show, don't tell for brand managers.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. When choosing a campaign to discuss, make sure it really highlights your brand management skills specifically.
Okay.
Don't just pick any random project.
Right.
Choose one with clear objectives, a well-defined strategy, and measurable results.
So it's not about bragging. It's about demonstrating how your actions led to specific outcomes.
Exactly. Can I give you an example?
Yeah, let's hear it.
A candidate could say this.
Okay.
I managed a campaign for a new product launch targeting a younger demographic.
Okay.
We leveraged social media influencers and user-generated content to create buzz.
Uh-huh.
The campaign resulted in a 40% increase in product trials and a 15% uplift in sales in the first quarter.
Wow.
See how they link their actions to specific positive outcomes.
That's a strong answer.
Yeah.
It really paints a clear picture of their capabilities.
so.
You know, I'm starting to feel like I could handle these questions myself.
I think you could.
What else might they ask?
Let's dive into the world of brand equity
Okay.
with this one. How do you measure brand equity, and what metrics do you consider most important?
Ooh. This is where you really have to show you understand the value of a brand.
Yes.
Not just the surface level stuff.
Right.
It's getting into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. A good answer goes beyond just listing metrics.
Okay.
Explain why those metrics matter
Yeah?
and how they inform your brand strategy.
Okay, so give me an example.
For example, you could talk about brand awareness, which can be tracked through surveys and social media engagement, or customer loyalty,
Right.
measured by things like repeat purchase rates
Yeah.
and net promoter score.
It's about showing you can connect those metrics to real business goals.
Yes.
It's not just about numbers for numbers' sake.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to mention some more sophisticated frameworks.
Okay. Like what?
For example, you could discuss the brand asset model, which looks at dimensions like differentiation, relevance, esteem, and knowledge to really assess brand strength.
Okay, so you're going deeper than the basics.
Yes.
You're thinking about brand equity in a more strategic and comprehensive way.
Precisely.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Give us another challenging question.
Right.
What else might they ask to really test our knowledge?
Here's one that emphasizes consistency.
All right.
How do you ensure brand consistency across different channels and touch points?
Ooh, that's crucial.
Yeah.
A brand needs to have a unified voice and image no matter where you encounter it. Otherwise, it just feels confusing and diluted.
Right here, you can demonstrate your understanding of brand guidelines and how to implement them effectively.
Okay.
Talk about things like developing a comprehensive style guide
Okay.
that covers everything from logo usage to tone of voice to visual elements.
Yeah.
You might even mention using tools or systems
Right.
to manage and maintain those brand assets across those different channels.
So it's about having the processes in place to enforce those guidelines,
That's right.
not just creating a document that sits on a shelf somewhere.
Right. And don't underestimate the importance of training and communication.
Yeah.
Everyone who touches the brand needs to be on the same page. You could even share a story of how you successfully implemented brand consistency in a past role.
Oh, yeah, that brings it to life.
Yeah.
Stories are so powerful, especially in an interview setting.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's next on our list of brain-twisting interview questions?
This one tests your adaptability.
Okay.
Describe a time when you had to pivot a brand strategy based on market feedback or changes.
Ah, the ever-changing market.
Yes.
It's inevitable that plans will need to adjust.
right.
So how do you recommend handling this question?
Well, don't be afraid to admit that you've had to change course.
Okay.
It shows you're flexible and responsive,
Right.
which are essential qualities for any brand manager.
Yeah.
Choose an example that demonstrates your ability to gather feedback,
Yeah.
analyze data, and make strategic decisions based on that new information.
So you're basically showing them that you're data-driven and willing to adjust your approach based on what you're learning.
What's a good example of a successful pivot?
Well, maybe someone could say, we were planning a big product launch focused on traditional media,
Okay.
but our market research showed that our target audience was primarily engaging online.
Right.
So we shifted our budget and resources to digital channels and influencer marketing. It was a tough decision, but it ultimately resulted in a much more successful launch.
There you go.
That's a great example of being agile and responsive to market changes.
Right.
It also shows that you're not afraid to make tough decisions when necessary.
Exactly.
Okay. What else do we have?
This one is about collaboration.
Okay.
How do you approach collaboration with cross-functional teams to strengthen a brand?
That's so important.
Yes,
Brand management isn't a solo sport.
it's a team effort.
You have to work with so many different teams to bring a brand to life. So what are the key things to highlight when answering this question?
You want to demonstrate your understanding of teamwork
Okay.
and your ability to work effectively with different departments.
Yeah.
Talk about your communication skills,
Yeah.
your ability to build relationships, your knack for finding common ground and aligning everyone around shared goals.
So you're a good influencer.
Yes,
You need to rally the troops and get everyone excited about the brand.
exactly. And
How-
a specific example
Okay.
can really bring this to life.
Why?
Maybe you worked with the product development team to create a new feature that addressed a customer need.
Uh-huh.
Or you partnered with the sales team to launch a successful promotion.
Those are great examples.
Right.
It's all about showing you can navigate those complex relationships
Yeah,
and achieve those positive outcomes for the brand.
absolutely.
I'm ready for the next challenge.
Okay, this one's about the digital landscape.
Bring it on.
What role does digital marketing play in your brand management strategy?
Well, it's impossible to talk about brand management today without talking about digital marketing.
It is.
It's such an integral part of everything we do.
Yeah.
What are the key things our listener should focus on when answering this question?
This question is all about showing you're digitally savvy
Okay.
and you understand how to leverage online channels to build and manage a brand.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk about your experience with different digital marketing tactics
Okay.
like SEO,
Mhm.
content marketing, social media, email marketing, and paid advertising.
And don't forget data and analytics.
Right.
You got to show them that you're data-driven and can track your results
Yes.
to make those informed decisions.
Absolutely, right?
And again, a specific example
Yeah.
can really make your answer stand out.
For sure.
Talk about a successful digital marketing campaign you managed
Mhm.
and the results that you achieve.
Yeah, that you increase website traffic, generate more leads,
Right.
boost sales.
It's all about showing them that you can walk the walk in the digital world.
Right.
All right, what's next? I'm feeling pretty confident now.
Okay, let's wrap up this segment
Okay.
with a question that focuses on your commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
Okay.
How do you stay current with branding trends and consumer behavior?
That's a great question.
Right.
The world of branding is constantly evolving.
Yeah, it's changing all the time.
So you have to be a lifelong learner.
Mm-hmm.
So how can our listener demonstrate that they're up to the challenge?
This is your chance to show your passion for the field
Okay.
and your dedication to continuous learning.
Yeah.
Talk about the blogs and publications you read, the podcasts you listen to,
Right.
like this one, of course,
Of course.
the industry events you attend, the online communities you engage with.
So it's about painting a picture of yourself as someone who's constantly curious and
Yes.
seeking out new knowledge.
Exactly. What's a good example?
Well, maybe someone could say,
Yeah.
I recently read an article about a new social media trend, and I was able to implement it in our brand strategy with great success.
Awesome.
Or I attended a conference where I learned about a new consumer research methodology that I'm now using to gather deeper insights.
Great examples.
It's all about showing that you're not just passively absorbing information,
Right.
but you're actively applying it to improve your brand management skills.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we've covered a ton of ground with these example questions and answers.
Yeah, we have.
But now let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about something that I think is often overlooked.
Right.
The importance of asking insightful questions yourself during the interview.
Yes,
You know, an interview is a two-way street.
it is.
Asking thoughtful questions not only demonstrates your genuine interest in the role,
Right.
but it also allows you to gather valuable information
Yeah.
about the company and the brand.
Absolutely.
It also shows that you're a critical thinker
Yes.
who's not afraid to dig a little deeper.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's dive into some of those smart questions
Right.
that you should have in your back pocket. What does the guide recommend?
One suggestion is to ask about how the brand's values
Okay.
are reflected in its marketing strategies and customer engagement.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It shows you're thinking about authenticity and how the company lives up to its stated values. It also gives you some insight into their culture.
Right. What else should we be asking?
Another good one
Yeah.
would be about the current challenges
Right.
that the brand is facing in the market.
That's smart.
Shows you're not afraid to tackle tough problems.
Right.
And it gives you valuable insight into the company's priorities and the potential challenges you might face if you were to take on this role.
Exactly.
Okay, give us one more brilliant question to really impress those interviewers.
Ask about how the company measures the success of its brand management efforts
Okay.
and how often those metrics are reviewed.
That's great.
Yeah.
It demonstrates your results-oriented mindset and your desire to understand how the company evaluates its performance.
That's a great way to gauge their commitment to data-driven decision-making.
And it gives you a sense of how your work would be measured and evaluated.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm feeling super equipped to ask some really insightful questions,
Right.
but now I want to hear about those key traits
Okay.
that make a brand manager candidate really shine.
Great. Let's discuss what sets top candidates apart.
Okay, I'm ready to hear what makes a brand manager truly exceptional.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So first and foremost, a great brand manager is a master of brand strategy development.
Okay.
They have a deep understanding of the market, the target audience, and the competitive landscape. And they're able to translate that knowledge into a cohesive and actionable plan.
So it's not just about having big ideas.
Right.
It's about having that strategic thinking to really bring those ideas to life
Yeah.
in a way that makes sense for the brand and the market.
Exactly. And they're not just strategists, they're also storytellers.
They can craft a compelling narrative that resonates with the target audience.
Right.
And brings the brand to life.
It's about creating a story that people want to be a part of, a story that connects with them on an emotional level.
Exactly. And to create that story,
Yeah.
they need to be masters of consumer insight analysis.
Okay.
That means they're skilled at gathering and interpreting data to understand what makes their target audience tick.
So they're like part marketer, part psychologist.
That's a great way to put it.
I like that.
They need to understand both the art and the science of connecting with consumers.
Okay, I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah.
A truly great brand manager needs to be a blend of creative and analytical.
Absolutely.
They need to have both that big picture vision and the data-driven approach.
Mm-hmm.
What else is on that list of essential traits?
Given how rapidly the marketing landscape is changing,
Right.
they need to be incredibly adaptable and trend-aware.
Yeah.
They're constantly learning, experimenting, and adjusting their strategies to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. So they're not afraid to embrace change and try new things.
Absolutely.
That's so important in today's world.
It is.
What else makes a brand manager stand out?
They're also collaborative leaders.
Okay.
They understand they can't do it all alone.
Right.
And are skilled at building strong relationships with cross-functional teams, external partners, and key stakeholders.
So they're the glue that holds everything together, the conductor of the orchestra.
Exactly. They ensure that everyone is aligned around a shared vision for the brand.
Wow. Being the brand manager sounds like a pretty demanding job.
It can be.
What else is on that list of superpowers?
Well, they also need to have a strong sense of financial acumen.
Okay.
They understand how to manage budgets,
Right.
track return on investment, and make data-driven decisions that contribute to the bottom line.
So they're not just creative dreamers.
Right.
They're also savvy business people.
Precisely. They understand that brand management is ultimately about driving business growth.
Okay, last superpower on the list.
Oh.
What's the final essential trait of a truly exceptional brand manager?
They need to be exceptional communicators.
Okay.
They can articulate their ideas clearly, present with confidence, and inspire others to buy into their vision.
So they're master storytellers, data analysts, Collaborators, business strategists, and communication gurus
Yeah.
all rolled into one.
It's a challenging role,
Yeah,
but also incredibly rewarding.
right.
And remember, nobody expects you to be perfect right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah.
The key is to identify your strengths and areas for growth,
Okay.
and then focus on developing the skills that will make you a successful brand manager.
That's a great point. It's all about continuous learning and improvement.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
All of those insightful example questions, the smart questions you should be asking,
Mm-hmm.
and those essential traits of a great brand manager. But the guide also addresses some frequently asked questions
So-
that I think often trip people up in interviews. So let's take a look at those before we wrap up.
Great idea. Those FAQs can help you anticipate potential pitfalls
Yeah.
and prepare accordingly.
Okay, fire away. What's the first FAQ on our list?
The guide says one of the most common questions brand managers get is, how do you measure the success of a brand campaign?
Makes sense. It's all about demonstrating your ability to track results and prove the value of your work.
Right.
So what's the best way to handle this question?
The key is to show you have a holistic understanding of brand measurement.
Okay.
Don't just focus on vanity metrics like likes and shares.
Yeah.
Talk about the metrics that really matter,
Right.
like brand awareness, customer engagement, website, traffic lead generation, and sales conversions.
So it's about connecting those marketing efforts
Yes.
to tangible business outcomes, show them you understand the bigger picture.
Exactly. You could even give a specific example of a campaign you measured
Right.
and the KPIs you used to track its success.
Okay, so for example,
For example, if you were running a social media campaign,
yeah?
you might talk about how you tracked engagement reach, website clicks,
Yeah.
and ultimately conversions or leads generated from those efforts.
That's great advice.
Okay.
Okay, what's the next FAQ we should be prepared for?
This one is a little trickier.
Okay.
What's the best way to discuss past failures or challenges in a brand manager interview?
Ah, the dreaded, tell me about a time you failed question. Nobody likes talking about their mistakes.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a way to see how you handle adversity
It is.
and learn from your experiences.
Right. So what's the best way to approach this one?
Well,
The key is to be honest and transparent
okay.
without dwelling on the negative.
Yeah.
Choose an example that demonstrates your ability to learn from your mistakes
Right.
and grow as a professional.
Mm.
Explain the situation,
Right.
what went wrong, what you learned from it,
Yeah.
and how you applied those learnings to future projects.
So it's not about trying to hide your mistakes.
Right.
It's about owning them and showing that you've grown from them.
Exactly. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is how you handle them.
Okay, I'm feeling a little more confident about tackling that question now.
Right.
What's the final FAQ on our list?
This one is similar to the previous one, but more focused on your problem-solving skills.
Okay.
How can I effectively showcase problem-solving skills in a brand manager interview?
You know, problem solving is such a crucial skill
It is.
for any brand manager.
Yeah,
You're constantly facing new challenges and having to come up with creative solutions.
absolutely.
So how can our listener really shine when answering this question?
The best way to showcase your problem-solving skills is to tell a compelling story.
Okay.
Choose an example where you faced a significant challenge.
Right.
Outline the steps you took to overcome it,
Mm-hmm.
and highlight the positive outcomes that you achieved.
Okay.
Be specific about the actions you took and the results you achieved.
So it's about painting a vivid picture of your problem-solving process in action.
Exactly. And make sure to highlight the skills that you used, like analytical thinking, creativity, communication, collaboration, and decision-making.
Those are all super important.
Show them you're a strategic thinker who can find solutions,
Yeah.
even in the face of adversity.
All right, I think we've covered a ton of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
We went through tons of insightful example questions and answers, discussed those smart questions you should be asking, and even explored those key traits that make a brand manager candidate truly stand out.
And don't forget, we tackled those tricky FAQs
Oh, yeah.
that can often trip people up in interviews.
You're right.
I think you're well on your way to interview success.
I agree. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I
Yeah.
want to touch on something that's often overlooked but incredibly important.
Okay.
Managing those interview nerves.
Oh, yes, those interview nerves.
Because it's totally normal to feel nervous
It is.
for an interview.
Absolutely.
And those butterflies can actually be a good sign that
Mhm.
you really care about the opportunity.
Exactly.
The key is to channel that nervous energy into positive momentum.
Right.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are your top tips for staying calm and collected under pressure?
My number one tip is preparation. The more prepared you feel, the more confident you'll be.
Okay.
Make sure you've researched the company and the brand.
Right.
Practice your answers to common interview questions, and prepare some thoughtful questions to ask them.
So it's all about turning that nervous energy into productive energy. I like that.
Right.
What else can help calm those pre-interview jitters?
Remember to take care of yourself.
Okay.
Get a good night's sleep before the interview.
Yeah.
Eat a healthy meal. Avoid caffeine or sugar, which can make you feel even more anxious.
Those are great practical tips. And what about during the interview itself?
Okay.
Any advice for staying calm and focused in the moment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
First, remember to breathe.
Right.
Deep breaths can help slow your heart rate and calm your nerves. Also, try to focus on the conversation rather than on your own internal monologue.
Yeah.
Listen actively to what the interviewers are saying and engage genuinely with their questions.
Right.
And if you need a moment to collect your thoughts, don't be afraid to pause and take a sip of water.
Those are all great tips. It's so easy to get caught up in your own head during an interview.
It is.
But focusing on the conversation and connecting with the interviewers can really help you feel more grounded and present.
Exactly. And here's another tip.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to show your personality.
Oh.
Let your enthusiasm for the brand and the role shine through. A genuine smile and a positive attitude can go a long way in creating a favorable impression.
I love that so often we try to put up a professional facade in interviews.
Right.
But letting your authentic self come through can help you connect with the interviewers.
Yes.
On a human level.
Exactly, on a human level. And one last tip.
Okay.
Remember that the interviewers are people too.
That's true.
They understand that you're probably nervous and they want you to succeed.
That's such a great point. Sometimes we forget that the interviewers are on our side.
They are.
They're looking for someone who's a great fit for the role, and they want to see us shine.
Right.
Okay. I'm feeling much more confident about tackling those interview nerves now.
Good.
Is there anything else we should be aware of as we head into the interview?
Well, the guide mentions one more thing that can really help you make a lasting impression.
Okay.
Following up after the interview.
Ah, yes. The all-important thank you note. I always forget about that.
Right. It's such a simple gesture, but it can really make a difference.
Yeah.
A well-written thank you note shows your appreciation for the interviewer's time and reinforces your interest in the position.
Right.
And it's also a great opportunity to reiterate your key qualifications and highlight any specific points that you want to emphasize.
So it's not just about saying thank you, it's about continuing the conversation.
Yes.
And leaving a lasting impression.
Exactly. And try to personalize your thank you note by mentioning something specific that you learned during the interview or that resonated with you.
Right.
It shows you were paying attention and that you're genuinely interested in the opportunity.
Great advice. I think we've covered pretty much everything there is to know.
I think so too.
About acing a brand manager interview.
I think we did.
We've explored the different types of questions, learned how to prepare effectively, and even tackled those tricky FAQs.
Right.
And interview nerves.
Yeah.
I'm feeling super confident, and I hope our listener is too.
Me too. Remember, confidence is key. Believe in yourself, your skills, and your passion for the brand, and you'll be unstoppable.
Okay. Before we sign off, I want to leave our listener with a little challenge.
Okay.
Think about a brand that you absolutely love.
Okay.
What is it about that brand that resonates with you so deeply?
Yeah.
What has that brand done to create such a strong connection?
Good question.
And how could you apply those insights to your future role as a brand manager?
That's a great challenge.
Yeah.
It's all about understanding the power of branding and how it can be used to create those meaningful connections with consumers.
Exactly. And remember, every brand has a story to tell.
Yes.
What will your story be?
We can't wait to see what you achieve the review.
Good luck with your interview.
Good luck.